welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for December the 13th of 2019. Welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas. My name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast that brings you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here on youtube.com/Samuel Adams Media, as well as podcast services around the world. So if you enjoy the show, you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep yourself up to date. But with that being said, today we are breaking down the biggest announcements from the Game Awards 2019. I'm going to be taking a step-by-step look at the Kotaku article that has links to every trailer, has links to every announcement. It's going to be a very good show that shouldn't be too long, but it will keep you up to date on everything announced last night. On top of that, I will let you know what the winners were from last night's actual awards ceremony, because there were some shockers, especially in the Game of the Year category, in my opinion. But that's beside the point. That's just my 2 cents. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's top gaming news. First off, all of the big announcements at the 2019 Game Awards. First and foremost, the brand new Xbox console. It's called Xbox Series X. How will people abbreviate that? Xbox SX, and it looks like a computer or perhaps a Sonos. In an official Xbox post that went up right after the Series X trailer, Xbox chief Phil Spencer also revealed that the console's new controller will include a share button, making it easier to cap and share screenshots and videos. On top of that, I was also reading that the controller has been marginally redesigned. It has been tweaked a bit to make it a little bit more comfortable to hold, etc. But overall, I think the big thing here was the trailer itself, because it was right around this point in which you realized this was not just a game trailer. This was, in fact, something entirely different. And I didn't expect to see any kind of hardware announcements at the Game Awards. Of course, this is not really an announcement, more so than an explaining, a little bit more elaboration. But there it is. That is the shape. That is the outline. And there you have it. That is the brand new Xbox console. So that is Project Scarlett, now officially the Xbox Series X. It is a vertical console, which is notably different than the traditional horizontal, flat-laying kind of approach that many people have been taking over the years. But excited to see what it will entail. Of course, during an interview, Phil Spencer has confirmed that it is hitting the 12 teraflop benchmark that has pretty much been set since the console's announcement. It is 2 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. It's like putting 2 of them together. And on top of that, it just is the world's most powerful console as of right now. So we will have to wait and see how it shapes up to PlayStation 5. But, of course, one of the biggest games that they showed off alongside of it was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. That is going to be a very cool-looking game. Now, this trailer was energetic. This trailer was full of life. This trailer was something that I did not really expect to see, but it is going to be coming to Xbox consoles and PC as well. So if you were concerned that this was going to be a Series X exclusive, no, it will not be. In fact, it is going to be available on the current gen as well as next gen hardware, at least on the Xbox front. Probably a timed exclusive, but this trailer was totally out of the blue for me. Of course, a very cool-looking game in and of itself. Very demonic, scary, lots of arms hanging from various branches and whatnot. Shockingly gory, and I'm a big fan of it. So if you do want to check it out, again, you can check out the entire lineup in the article, which I have linked down below. But that game looks to be very good. Then, moving on to the next big next-gen console announcement, Godfall is the first game ever to end a trailer with PlayStation 5. So this is a cool look at a brand new game that is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, of course, whenever the console launches. And this is the first big reveal we have seen that is not a AAA game that we are able to actually pinpoint. Like, this is going to be on the PlayStation 5, and then we also got a small snippet of gameplay for the PlayStation 5, which I will say looks to be very, very good. So if you were curious as to what you could be expecting for next gen, in general, better lighting, better textures, all of the stuff you would expect from beefier, more powerful hardware. But a cool-looking game, to say the least. I would definitely temper my expectations, because for me, whenever a new console generation rolls around, there tends to be a buffer period where you do have some games that are good, but they act more so to sell the console than necessarily to sell the games themselves. So we'll have to wait and see about this one, but I am excited to learn more about Godfall. Then Bravely Default 2 is officially coming out, which, as Jason Schreier pointed out on Twitter, is actually Bravely Default 3, because Bravely Second was actually the sequel to Bravely Default. But hey, I'm not naming the games, I'm just playing them. So if you were a big fan of the series, of course, you are going to be getting this one in 2020. I love the art style of this one. If you are a fan of Octopath Traveler, this will look familiar to you because they're all made from the same people. But I will admit, this was one that, again, didn't really hit me where it counts, so to speak. Not really a huge Bravely Default fan, but still worth noting because it has been a while since we have seen any kind of Bravely Default game. But I love the art style of especially the trailer itself, but we will have to wait and see in 2020 what the actual game itself is going to feature. Then Weird West was a strange one. The trailer did not show much, but the YouTube description is intriguing. Each journey is unique and tailored to the actions taken, a series of high-stakes stories where everything counts and the world reacts to the choices you make. From a posse or venture forth alone, into an otherworldly confines of the Weird West and make each legend your own. So this essentially is a game from Devolver that is like the Wild West, but there's crazy, creepy magic stuff going on. Like there are monsters, there are beasts that are attacking people, and you could go out there and you could strike it rich. You could become very wealthy and successful, or you could just get killed by some kind of demonic boar. It depends on, I suppose, the randomness of the game. But very cool to see each journey is unique and tailored, so that means a lot of replayability in my mind. But as far as the gameplay goes, kind of a top-down, I guess, third, it's even hard to explain, really. But that's the kind of approach you're going to be getting there. You kind of wander around, do stuff in the towns, and I'm sure there are missions, etc. But a cel-shaded art style and a nice kind of watercolor aesthetic is definitely going to be lending itself to a cool experience for this one. But excited to see what it entails. Again, I could say that for every one of the announcements. I feel like I'm just repeating myself because, in general, I get excited about just about every game. But Weird West is coming to us from Devolver. Excited to see what that one entails. Yet again. Then we saw the League of Legends spin-off Ruined King, a League of Legends story. This is the single-player experience that we heard leaked, or at least announced a couple of weeks back that we talked about on another episode of the Jampack Report, and it's a strategy turn-based RPG created by the team that includes Joe Matarrita of Darksiders fame. I believe I said that correctly. Oh, and there was a second spin-off shown. It's a platformer called Convergence, or Convergence with a slash in the middle if you are looking for the way they spell it. This, again, for League of Legends fans, sure, this is going to be a big deal for you. For me, not necessarily a big standout thing overall, and we didn't even get any gameplay, mainly just a big cinematic that shows off some islands that it looks like you pretty much jump between a ship, maybe, something like that. So we'll have to, wait for more information about this one, because as of right now, not too much to go on. But Ruined King is especially interesting considering it's not a League of Legends addition, expansion, anything like that. It is literally a brand new story-based experience coming to console and PC. Then we had Dark Alliance, a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. You can check out that trailer there. Then we saw, of course, the reveal of PlayerUnknown's next big game. Nothing much to go on, but you can sign up to learn more and, of course, get access to the beta when it goes live. But it's called Prologue, and this is the first game after PUBG, coming to us from Brendan Green. I'm curious as to whether or not it's a prologue of PUBG, like what happened to get to that point, or if this is something entirely new. As you can see, it's a very densely forested area, and you are pretty much just looking around as a storm strikes a rock in front of you. I am just excited to see what he comes up with, really. I know that whenever PUBG struck it big and became a big phenomenon, that kind of shifted his focus a good bit. It began to shift away from PUBG, and I think whenever somebody hits a specific amount of success, they want to push themselves more, and they want to get back into that grindy developer phase, because that's really what developers love doing. And so I think that's kind of what the deal is here. He's trying to get new ideas, new IP going, or it could tie directly into PUBG. I suppose we will have to wait and see, but you can go to Play Prologue right now. Of course, that's playprologue.com, and get yourself on the mailing list to learn more. Then we also had some brand new release dates. Ori and the Will of the Wisp is coming out on my birthday, March 11th. Controls, the Foundation experience, expansion, whatever you want to call it, is coming out on March the 26th. That, of course, is the Control DLC, which is going to add a significant amount of content to the game. Gears Tactics, the tactical approach to the Gears franchise, as the name lends itself to expect, is coming out on April the 28th, and PS4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And then there were more trailers, so many more trailers. There's a Fast and Furious Crossroads trailer, which is a brand new Fast and Furious game coming to Steam next year. The Final Fantasy VII Remake has gotten a brand new trailer featuring Cloud specifically, and it looks very good. On the stream, which I streamed a bit of the Game Awards last night before heading to bed early because I forgot it's 3 hours long, this trailer came up, and I said, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy VII guy. I never played the game. I don't really plan on playing the remake, but every time they show off a trailer, it continually looks better and better, like it has improved drastically since first being shown off a few years back, and I think this is going to be one that is worth the wait. Hopefully they make it a cross-generational game. We talked about this earlier on an episode of the Jampack Report this week that said this is going to be a PS4 exclusive until March of 2021, so at that point, would it come to PS5, Xbox Series X, or what's the situation with that? But I would love to see it branch out, and of course it will, because there's been so much work done on that game that to just let it sit on PlayStation for an extended period of time would be very unwise. But looks beautiful. Can't wait to see more about it. Humankind, Your Story gameplay trailer. This is something that was shown off towards the beginning of the show, and it looks like a very neat take on a Civilization kind of city builder experience. Definitely one worth looking at. Then on top of that, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, is getting a Rise of the Phoenix expansion. Magic Legends is a brand new MMO from the creators of Magic the Gathering. Of course, the developers are not the creators of Magic the Gathering, the card game, but rather these guys focused on MMOs in the past. I believe that they were notable. Star Trek Online, I think, was one of them. But if you are a fan of Magic the Gathering, you will know that this has been something fans have been asking for years. And we've known this is something that has been in development, but we haven't known really what it is. So now there's a giant brand new MMO set in the world of Magic the Gathering that I think definitely has a spot in today's day and age, because if you listen to what a lot of the biggest streamers are saying, a lot of them, especially on Twitch, began streaming with World of Warcraft. And so whenever that game, maintained its popularity but became less the face of Twitch, everybody said, I need a new MMO. And on top of that, I think it's worth noting that after playing a game for a specific amount of time, years even, you might get a little bit bored of it. And so Magic Legends is a brand new MMO coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, hopefully being ported to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X as well. Then we saw Man-Eater Game. That's where you play as a shark eating people. Naraka Blade Point. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't see this trailer. So we will just scrub through this and see what we've got. Beautiful Ghost of Tsushima-ish looking setting. Of course, this is all captured on what? In-game. Okay. So it looks like a giant sword-wielding. This is like a Platinum Games kind of thing already. Nope, that looks like Sekiro. Okay. Definitely some Sekiro experience here. Yep, this is a ninja samurai looking. I apologize to the audio listeners because you can't see what I'm talking about. This is a neat-looking game. Okay, so it's like an Uncharted combined with a Sekiro combined with a Ghost of Tsushima, I suppose. This is a strange-looking game, but I'm excited for it. I'm down for it. All right, so Naraka Blade Point coming out 2020. If you did want to check out that game, which I didn't even know existed. On top of that, there is a brand new shooter, 9 to 5. It's rabbits with guns, sure. No More Heroes 3, The Return. This trailer was neat because it started off as some kind of strange, like, alien crashes onto planet Earth. Kid finds it. They have this interaction where it's like, I'll be back in 20 years. Alien comes back, now fully grown, kind of buff, king-looking dude, and he just starts destroying the world. Then all of a sudden, Travis Touchdown comes out of nowhere. Nope, not a totally new IP. This is a brand new No More Heroes 3 trailer, which, of course, is a weird franchise in and of itself. But I suppose that's pretty cool to see, and I would love to learn more about it. I've never been a big No More Heroes guy, but I know after the Nintendo Switch spin-off game, everybody was wanting a real one. So now we are getting the real one indeed. Then Overwatch's Holiday Bash, because Mirage, or should I say ho, is in fact going to be going live very soon. If you did want to dive back into the world of Apex Legends, you can check out skins, you can check out voice lines, you can check out some new map changes that do line up with the Christmas/holiday season, which I suppose, is nice. I love a good festive twist during the December months. But I suppose just month. But overall, not too much coming to Apex Legends aside from the limited time Winter Express mode, which is where you ride the train and you have some guns to shoot people with. Is that a good enough description for you? Sons of the Forest looks very cool. Now, is this the game from the creators of The Forest? I would assume that it might be, but this is essentially a game in which there is this demonic presence in the forest that is killing people after your helicopter crashes. This was very disturbing to me. I don't know about you guys, but there's this demon chick, and she's like laying on this rock, and all of a sudden, she's over here sprouting new legs. Now there are 4. Now there are 2 arms, and she's stripping on the tree with a multiple appendage. I'm not a big fan of that at all. That was very disturbing for me. But I'm pretty sure that judging by the font at the end here, this is The Forest or the sequel to The Forest. I haven't done a lot of research on it, obviously, but these ghouls, I'm not anything with skin stretched over its face, I'm out. You know, that's like I can't breathe because my mouth is covering my mouth. But I'm a big fan of the demonic kind of theme that this year's Game Awards had. I think that 2020 and 2021, there are going to be some creepy games coming out between, of course, the new Hellblade game on top of that, Sons of the Forest, in addition to that Weird West. There's a lot of strange, like, demonic stuff going on. And if you get attacked by a demon, you might have to go get some surgery because Surgeon Simulator 2 has officially been announced. This game, or at least its predecessor, certainly did make the rounds whenever it launched because it was the first indie game that was one of those strange kind of, you control the fingers and you can perform surgery just by using each individual appendage on the hand. That's what the big draw was for a lot of people here. And so that, of course, spawned off a ton of these spin-off games that were doing various things where you controlled each individual portion. I'm thinking about stuff like Octodad, Deadliest Catch. I'm thinking about stuff like all these other simulators that have come and gone over the years that are always fun to play, but I'm always a big fan of Surgeon Simulator. And finally, the last big one from this article, The Wolf Among Us 2. Of course, Telltale went through hell in late 2018, and into 2019 they have been going through a restructuring of sorts. The original Telltale, let me make it very clear, is dead, but this team is taking the name and taking some new tech and continuing where the original Telltale left off. So The Wolf Among Us 2 is coming back. Bigsby, I believe is his name, is back. I probably forgot that name. But regardless, it looks like the man that can turn into a wolf is, in fact, coming back just to help out a friend. So, cool to see that it exists. I'm not sure when this will be coming out, but at least we know that Telltale is still around. Warner Brothers and DC are both involved, and that makes me very, very excited. But on top of all of that, I did want to point out that the article left out Ghost of Tsushima because the new trailer has launched. It has a summer 2020 release date, and it's a long one. Now, that's a 5-minute trailer. We're not going to be going through that, but it is gorgeous. I love the way the game looks. I love this feudal Japan look. Just this aesthetic is like this right here. That's my wallpaper. I could totally do that because I just love that kind of look. But sit back and enjoy a nice look at one of the most anticipated games of the PS4. Last night at the Game Awards, developer Sucker Punch revealed the latest trailer for its PS4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima, an action-adventure game that combines sword fighting and stealth in a world inspired by feudal Japan. Clocking in at 4 minutes, the trailer is easily the best look at the game to date. There we go, mixing together both gameplay and cinematic footage. Of course, it is coming out in summer 2020, which is kind of shocking for me, and that almost guarantees that this is going to be a PS5 game as well, because there has been way too much development time put into Ghost of Tsushima to have it launched a mere months before the new trailer or the new console actually hits store shelves. So hopefully this one is going to be getting an up-res, getting an upgrade, and is being prepared for launch on the PS5. But this will give us something to play during the summer months, and I think that could be the approach here because there really isn't too much as of right now for summer 2020. Spring is jam-packed. That is going to be overflowing in the summer, but as far as brand new releases, not too much to talk about here. However, now we can talk about Ghost of Tsushima. On top of that, we can always just anticipate the next big console reveal. And finally, let's talk about the actual winners from the Game Awards 2019. All right, giving you the rundown from top to bottom, Game of the Year was actually Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, that one won out over stuff like The Outer Worlds, Resident Evil 2, Death Stranding, and Control, as well as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I don't think was a legitimate competitor. This speaks volumes. I am shocked, but I'm also glad, because for me, I thought that it was going to be Death Stranding for sure, but I also fully had faith that it could have also been Resident Evil 2. So now with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, it looks like that one is the one that stands out on top. Best Game Direction went to Death Stranding, totally deserving. Best Narrative went to Disco Elysium, which was a multiple award winner last night. Best Art Direction went to Control, which I think is also a bit of a controversy one, because Death Stranding was also very, very worthy of that one. But actually, all of these games really were. I mean, especially The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. To rebuild that original experience from the ground up and to create something entirely new really deserved an award. But Control also one that is deserving as well. Best Score/Music went to Death Stranding. Best Audio Design went to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Best Performance went to Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Games for Impact went to Grizz. The Best Ongoing Game goes to Fortnite from Epic Games. You might have heard of it. The Best Independent Game is Disco Elysium. The Best Mobile Game is Call of Duty Mobile. Again, very worthy of that. I've heard really good things about Grindstone, though, so hey, whatever. But the Best Community Support goes to Destiny 2. This is one I want to highlight, because Bungie did an incredible job of flipping the narrative on D2 from being a game that launched and then kind of faded into the abyss, then came back, then kind of faded into the abyss. Now, with their freedom from Activision, they can pretty much do whatever they want. The game has come to Steam. The support is incredible. There are constantly events and stuff happening. A very good game and a well-done experience from the guys at Bungie. Then, Best VR/AR game is Beat Saber, to the surprise of no one. The Best Action Game is Devil May Cry 5. The Best Action Adventure Game is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. The Best RPG is Disco Elysium, beating out very notable competition from The Outer Worlds, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Final Fantasy 14. Disco Elysium came out on top. That one was a shocker. Then the Best Fighting Game, surprisingly, I mean, who would have thought, goes to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Can you hear the sarcasm in my voice? The Best Family Game goes to Luigi's Mansion 3. The Best Strategy Game goes to Fire Emblem Three Houses. The Best Sports/Racing Game goes to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I love it so much because it beat out all these other real games, and then it's just like, let's go in and do an arcade racer. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Love that look, that feel. The Best Multiplayer Game goes to Apex Legends. Wow. The Fresh Indie Game presented by Subway goes to ZA/UM for Disco Elysium. ZA/UM, you guys know who they are. Content Creator of the Year went to Shroud. Of course, that's Michael Greshik, the new streamer over there on Mixer. You might have heard of him. The Best Esports Game goes to League of Legends. The Best Esports Player went to Kyle Boga-Giersdorf, who is the, of course, winner of the Solos Championship for the Fortnite World Cup. The Best Esports Team went to G2 Esports. The Best Esports Event went to League of Legends World Championship 2019. The Best Esports Coach went to Zonic. The Best Esports Host went to Sox. And, of course, the Players Voice Award went to Fire Emblem Three Houses. And the Best Gaming Tweet of the Year, according to, of course, the Game Awards, I suppose, is this Super Mario Maker thing. So overall, I would say this was a very, very surprising year for the Game Awards. Most of the time, you can pretty much predict which Game of the Year is going to win, but I don't think anybody had really picked Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I think everybody had pretty much guaranteed Death Stranding was going to be taking home the crown on that one. At least that's what I thought. But I think another shocker was absolutely the Best RPG category, because Disco Elysium came out of nowhere. Again, I'm not really well versed on the game, but up against Obsidian's The Outer Worlds, that's a shocker, because that was pretty much a very well received, very highly esteemed RPG that I thought was going to take home the crown. But exciting year nonetheless, and tons and tons and tons of stuff to break down. Now, of course, I couldn't cover everything on the show that I wanted to cover because, hey, you've got time to do things. I've got time to do things. I can't spend all day going through each individual trailer, but I did want to hit the highlights and let you know which was going to be of course, at the forefront of my mind and keep you guys up to date. But if you enjoyed this episode of the Jampack Report, let me know down below. Let me know what caught your eye from this year's Game Awards. I would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, I will be back on Monday with a brand new episode of the Jampack Report to keep you up to date and informed. But until then, have a phenomenal rest of your weekend. I will talk to you soon, and peace.